morning, everyone. My name is Kat Burnham, and I have the privilege to address you as the Vice President of Policy for the Environment Council of Rhode Island, otherwise known as ECRI. ECRI is a coalition of over 60 organizations and individuals. We serve as a unified voice for the environment and advocate for policies and programs that effectively protect and enhance Rhode Island's natural resources. Today, you will hear from voices across Rhode Island. Environmental leaders, health advocates, concerned citizens, students, and more have gathered to emphasize the many reasons that Rhode Island does not want and does not need this power plant in Burrillville. Thank you again for joining us at this press conference to confront this serious issue to our state's environment. Our first speaker is here on behalf of the Audubon Society of Rhode Island, Meg Kerr, the Senior Director of Policy.
Thank you, Kat. My name is Meg Kerr. I'm the Senior Director of Policy for the Audubon Society of Rhode Island, and I'm here because our Executive Director is out of town. The Audubon Society's mission is to protect birds and other wildlife and their habitats through conservation, education, and advocacy for the benefit of people and all living things. We oppose the Invenergy power plant in Burrillville for two major reasons. First of all, the plant will disturb the integrity of Western Rhode Island's forested habitats and wildlife corridors. The proposed plant would undermine the integrity of one of the most intact forested areas, not only in Rhode Island, but also in southern New England. Large tracts of forest are critical to the region's biodiversity, as well as our ability to adapt to and mitigate against the impacts of climate change. The Department of Environmental Management, in their own advisory opinion to the EFSB about the Invenergy plant, said that Rhode Island has prioritized and invested in this area for wildlife conservation for decades. The location of a facility of this size and scope immediately adjacent to substantial acreage of state holdings of conservation land is not consistent with the conservation priorities that inform these state conservation plans. I would argue they agree with our opposition based on that point. Our second reason for opposing the plant is that it undermines Rhode Island's ability to achieve the greenhouse gas reduction goals set in the 2014 Resilient Rhode Island Act. The Act calls for the state to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 10% below 1990 levels by 2020, 45% below 1990 levels by 2035, and 80% below 1990 levels by 2050. The bill also creates an Executive Climate Change Coordinating Council, we call it the EC4, which is charged with developing a plan for achieving these goals. And that plan was issued in December of 2016, just a few months ago, and that plan states, and I quote, an 80% greenhouse gas reduction by 2050 would likely require a near-zero carbon grid coupled with significant electrification of residential, commercial space heating, and on-road vehicles, end quote. The Invenergy facility is not the right decision for the state or the region if we are urgently need to move to a near-zero energy grid. Thank you very much.